Detroit City, where stars shine in the east, inside a safe space creating perfect vibes for poetic prophets to light up the D, with creative energy flowing over rivers, streaming through woods into universal hoods where 313's authenticity is consistent from front to back, no matter how it's cut. Innovators raised by a strong hand, warmed in a mitten thrive when real ones rock mics, spitting fire in a chilled spot where poetry is welcomed with open arms. So sit back, relax, come and get this love from your Motor City hostess, Tia Lise, on the B-side.
Come chill with vibes and verses.
Hey everybody, it's your girl Galaxy, and today I'm about to share a poem with you from my book, I Love Myself More. And the name of this poem is called My Honest Poem, and it is after one of my favorite poets, Rudy Francisco. My name is Galaxy. My mother didn't name me that. I love sunflowers and sunflower seeds. I also think that's kind of weird. I've never had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and most people make me feel like I'm missing out on the best sandwich ever created. I have FOMO. Not extreme enough to risk my life for a sandwich, but extreme enough that sometimes I find myself in places that I shouldn't be. Staying in relationships I should have walked away from, or letting my boundaries slip from underneath my grasp. I have a habit of holding on to the wrong things longer than I should and letting go of the things I should hold on to too soon. I feel I should have figured this out by now, but I'm okay with being a work in progress. I love sitting on the beach but not swimming in the water. Football is my favorite sport, and the Lions will win a Super Bowl before I die. I think that a line in one of Rudy's poems is the best description for my life. I think about getting it tattooed every day, but I don't. For the fear of the criticism I may receive at the end of the day. I say this to say, sometimes I care more about people's opinion of me than doing what truly makes me happy. I feel that I talk about being broken in my poems because I always give more of myself than I can afford to lend, and certainly more than I receive. So I attract broken men, ones who need to heal or thrive while ignoring my signs of distress signals. I've been on this cycle so long that sometimes I fear my heart has turned cold, my tears will turn glaciers, and my walls will never be penetrated. I pretend like I'm okay in my poetry because it's easier that way. I'm often afraid of showing my true colors so easily, but I'm also tired of hiding behind these similes. I say honesty is the best policy, but I hardly have any poems that are truly about me. Hi, my real name is Ashley. I love telling people that I'm only 5 feet tall. My birthday is 10 days after Christmas, and I'm a Capricorn. I don't think I still believe in true love, but I do believe that there is a perfect partner for everyone, and no, I don't think it's the same thing. When I look in the mirror lately, I'm finally starting to recognize myself. I am still a work in progress, and this poem is just a part of my practice. Thank you. What's up? It's your girl Galaxy again, and we're about to get into another poem from my book because we're here, and these are poems that you're not going to hear any other place unless you get the book, which is available on my website, okay? So the name of this poem is called Colors. They say, when someone shows you their true colors, don't try to paint a different picture, but I saw myself as Picasso, brushed off the red in your character, created a different picture, an illusion, less of the man you were, more of an illustration of the man I wanted you to be. An accurate depiction of you was always adjusted by acrylic. So I sculpted you into something simpler, something digestible that I could swallow. Instead of my pride, instead of the truth, I used to portray your portrait as perfect instead of penciling in the imperfections. I painted you a different projection. And every time your red reprised itself, I repainted, glossed over the guilt in my gut, and tried to frame my delusion as confusion. When my body painted your true form, my tears turned watercolor, waiting for you to become my masterpiece. But you were always abstract art, the kind that changes when you see it from afar, then reveals the cracks and bruise it when you touch it up close. And yet, you still drew me in. No matter how sketchy you were, you only fit good artificially, but visually, I knew that your true colors would never work for my gallery.
Love that. What up, though, y'all?
What up, Detroit?
It is Tia Lise, and it's another episode of Vibes and Verses. And y'all see, I got my sis, Miss Galaxy, in the building.
What's up?
Right, look, we're getting
What up,
applause
love?
for that, baby. I got my sis in the studio. See, and the cool part about that is the fact that, it's a long applause. The cool part about that is this is Sis's second time in the B-Side studio, but her first time on Vibes and Verses. And she be fitting the sister in.
She said it's the beginning of the year, you need to come. I said, I'm making time for you. School start back, that means back to work, and I'm getting us work in immediately.
Okay?
Yes.
So I appreciate you for being here as always.
And thank you for the warm welcome. I always like coming here,
I forgot to tell you we got food over there in the corner too. You know I got charcuterie
Oh,
over there. You know how I
okay,
do.
look. It's the hospitality for me. She already got me this, listen, ice cold, ice mountain.
Right, you know what I'm saying? And see, we midday with it. That's the cool part about it, Now, in the evening, I'd have been like, girl, you want some wine?
And I would have said yes.
Hey, look, I still got some. You want some wine?
Look, after this,
Okay,
okay,
we're gonna
find
do
somewhere
that.
we gon'
We gonna,
do
toast.
that.
Okay. So listen, I gotta give my sis her flowers, first of all. Our sis is second place for Motown Mike, right?
Yep.
She won belts, okay, is killing on the slam circuit everywhere, all up and through the mitten and outside. You know what I'm saying? She is known in so many places, and since her last time here, she's written a book. Okay? You know what I mean? And just got all this energy. I don't know where you get it from.
Me either. I had some coffee this morning. Shout out to Dunkin' and Starbucks.
I know that's right, girl.
Look,
So
y'all listen, my pull-up coffee in Kennedy. Listen, that is not a lie. Coffee be getting me where I need to go.
exactly. So she just is busy around here. But one thing about it, no matter where you see her, you always get the same energy. And that is so authentic. It's so rare. So I got to tell you, I'm so proud of you. And I know this year about to be electric
Thank you.
for you.
I am so ready. I am like, before the year was over, I actually sat down and I'm actually playing a manifestation game with myself for my goals this year.
Yeah.
And I sat down and I really was very mindful, very thoughtful about the things I want to accomplish this year.
Okay.
And every day I go back to it and I think about it. So if I can share with you.
Yes.
So
please do. And let's make sure we talk.
right. Okay. So I saw this thing about manifesting, and they say like if you turn your manifestation or your goals into a game, you're more likely to like go back to them to try and achieve them.
Okay.
So this year I put all of my goals on a bingo card.
Oh, that's
So
fly.
every time I look at it, I'm like, which one of these squares can I accomplish? And I put like some hard stuff, some easy stuff, and it's just like a really good mix. So I'm like thinking about it all day, and I'm like, by the end of the year, I need to make sure I get at least a few bingos. So
That's dope.
yeah, it's so
And
fun.
each square is a bingo.
Yeah,
Instead of trying to get diagonal and all this.
Yeah, exactly. And it's on the card, so it's like you want to get your, you want to get your
The
dots
stamp.
in. Yeah. And then at the end, you like, oh, I got 3 in a row, 4 in a row. I got all across, whatever. It's up to you personally how you want to make it, but it's especially for somebody like me. I'm just competitive by nature. It's like compete with yourself. Think about the goals. It's something like you can see it visually.
Yes.
You can think about it competitively, and also it's just like a constant reminder. Like, what can I do today? Like, how can I get closer to one of these goals. Like, what can I work on today? So mentally, every day as I'm going through the year, I'm like, do something towards one of your squares. Like,
That's
at least
dope.
one.
That's dope. So what have you done so far?
Okay, so right now one of my main goals is trying to grow on Instagram and TikTok.
Okay.
So a lot of people
For
don't.
as long as TikTok gonna last.
I know,
They're trying to
I
take
know.
it away. I
I
like
hope
TikTok.
not. A lot of people really don't know this about me, but I'm really into anime.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of like fell off for a while and then got back into it a lot. I went to Southern Fried. This is what happened. I went to Southern Fried and I went to the Nerd Slam.
Okay.
And it's like, oh, these all black nerds. Like, oh, I'm
This
at
is
home.
cool, right?
Yeah, and so it kind of like pushed me back into it. So now I have a anime page on TikTok that I'm growing. So I'm almost to my first goal, which is to get to 2,000 followers. So I'm about like 40 followers away from my first goal.
That's dope.
And so I just told myself, like, okay, make sure you posting videos consistently, you know, responding to people. So that's like like this week, that was my goal, is like posting videos, like try to post at least 3 videos this week. Because I'm like, okay, this is the goal I'm working towards.
Right,
So,
right. Okay, now see, that makes sense. And then you're so cool with it because now when you're posting, how do you know? I always be feeling like my life ain't all that exciting. You know what I'm saying? I mean, really, I take care of my mom during the day. You know, I used to, you know, be my daughter's sounding board, but now she done moved out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now I be chasing my husband around the house. You feel me? How do you know what to post that might, you know, that might hit an audience of some sort?
So my number one advice for social media is be the content.
Okay.
Don't try to go out like
Mhm.
seeking out things.
Yeah.
Because what people like the most is the stuff that you're already doing. So like,
Boom.
get ready with me, you know, like come with me. I'm about to do this. Like they want to see you as a person. Like people just want to know what you're actually doing with your life. So like for you, you could record a video of you getting set up. Like, let me show y'all what I do before artists come in. And you know, like when you put my name on the board, you know, you could be like, this week I got Soulful coming in, so we got to get his letters ready.
Right,
you know,
right.
this, and that. That is the type of content that people actually like to see. It's the natural stuff that's authentic.
And it'd be
People
okay even if you look like Adam's house cat.
Listen, I don't know who that is, and you're beautiful, so I don't, you know, dress how you want, be how you want, yes.
Okay.
Show up
Okay.
authentically. Like even, shoot, some of my earlier contests used to be like, all right, y'all, you already know I'm about to put on some sunscreen. Y'all know put my contacts on. You know, just all that small things. Especially voiceovers are really good. So like,
and that's my thing anyway.
yeah,
you know
people
what I'm
that
saying?
scared, I show them like if you are somebody that don't like doing content, get on screen and be like this, and then put words above
it. That's true. I see people doing that.
Yeah, just point and put a box up there. You know. Like
that's
it's
true.
It's so
and
much
that's some
easier.
stuff you could do sitting right at like wherever
you could
at.
You could pop up. Look, you could roll onto the screen and be like, boop, and it'd be like, new episode. You know, literally.
That's true.
Yes.
Okay, I'm about to try that.
Yes,
I'm gonna try it, and then I'm gonna do a video and be like, Galaxy, that shit worked. Like for real. You know what I'm saying?
Like,
and that's another thing I love. I think that's different because I told you sometimes before I got sick, I still took a hiatus, you know, or I've been guilty of letting, you know, people see you're an artist, they get excited about your artistry, and they be like, hey, we should hook up and do this. And then I'll be like, okay. And I'll hook up and do that with them and kind of lose sight of what I want to do. You know what I'm saying?
That's easy to do.
You know, and another reason that that I took a step away is because people just seemed like they was gatekeeping hard back in the day. And maybe it's because I'm a little older now and give less care,
right?
You know what I'm saying? But then, and you know, for the kids. But other than that, also I think, you know, just now you guys are so much more forthcoming with information. Like you don't mind helping people. Like you're not sitting back like, oh, let me not tell them this tactic because then they gonna do it, and then I'm gonna look like I'm copying them. I don't get that vibe from any of you guys now, and it's no diss to how it was, but I'm so glad.
Yeah,
you know.
I think so. That problem is coming from a lack mindset.
True. And
the reason that we all were so used to that is because most of our parents in the older generation, they were raised in survival mode. You know, it's like most people, like my mom was born the week after MLK died.
Wow.
You know, so like as far as like time frames, that's the civil rights movement.
Right.
So it's not even like black people had that much freedom for that long.
Right.
And so it was at a
It
time.
was still very new.
Yeah, it was at a
Mhm.
time where it was like, it was scarcity all over the place.
Exactly.
And so now I think our generation is kind of moving to that abundant mindset of
Absolutely.
like, it's enough for everybody. Because for me telling you how to run your social media has nothing to do with how I run my social media. It's not going to take away from
No.
any of the followers I have. It's not going to take away from any opportunities. And the more people think about that,
Mhm.
the more we will all be better off for it.
Exactly.
Like, let me tell you a
Mhm.
story that really, I tell this story all the time to explain to people why I give information so freely.
Mhm.
So I was getting my nails done by this girl,
Mhm.
and she was complaining, and she's like, yeah, this girl hopped in my inbox and was asking me what type of acrylic you use and what do you do this and this and that, and asking the questions. And she was like, I don't know why she coming in my inbox trying to get all this information from me. She needs to figure it out on her own. And I was like, okay, now let me ask you this. And I was like, so when you started, how would you feel if someone had given you that information? And she was like, it would be helpful. And I was like, okay, and let me ask you this question. Do you know this girl? No. Do you
Mhm.
know any of her family? No.
No.
Do you know any of her clients? No.
No.
So that means that if you give her this information, it is not taking anything out of
Away
your
from
pocket. You are still going to have your clientele. You
Mhm.
still going to have your family, your friends, and all the people. But you get to sow a seed, because when you were in her position, you would have wanted someone
Someone
to
to
give you
tell
that
you.
information. So why
Yes.
not be the person that you needed?
Exactly.
Because that's only thing that's going to do is give you more blessings.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
All it's
And-
going to do is sow the seed to have someone else be able to get financial freedom
Or
and
she's going to
independence.
come back and say, this is the person who taught me.
Exactly.
This is the person who gave
Exactly.
me her cheat code. You
Yes.
know what I'm saying? Or whatever the case may be. That's so true.
Mhm.
And people do not understand that. Like, I've gotten so many blessings taking a chance or giving someone some information. Like, I remember, and this is so funny because, like I said, it was sometimes negative things that will make you back away from a scene.
Mhm.
Because
Yes.
it'll hit you so hard, you'll think it's personal. You'll think it's you.
Yes,
And
yes.
you'll think it's a sign that you ain't supposed to be here.
Yep. Uh-huh.
And that's the playoff. That's the overlay for the underlay, right? I ran across somebody. I had just started writing my book, okay? And I've been writing since I was a little kid,
Oh,
right?
Pick it up.
Look, no, that one back there. It's back
I
there.
was gonna show
I
it to
had,
the camera.
that's my book of poetry.
Mhm.
But
Get them both. Or is it both of them?
both of us, right? But I had just started writing my first book, like it was fiction novel, right?
Mhm.
And I went to a concert at Shane Park.
Okay.
And we're sitting there between acts or whatever, and I happen to see this lady come in. She sets up, and girlfriend pulled her books out.
Mhm.
And I was just sitting there like, oh my God, like how did she get to this place? Now at this point, I didn't even have a product yet. My shit was still digital, it was
Mhm.
still in manuscript form, right? So, I stood in line because I saw people lining up to go buy her book or whatever. And I am ultra excited, right? I get in line, I wait in line maybe about 10, 15 minutes. I missed the chicken wing line.
Oh.
Okay?
Now that's
At
a
the Shane Park.
dedication.
Okay, for those, the Aretha Amphitheater.
Right, right.
Okay, but back
Right.
then it was Shane Park. But
It was Shane Park to
right,
me.
you can.
Okay.
So I'm standing in line and stuff, and I finally get up there, and her book ain't cheap.
Mhm.
Okay, mind you, the book was like $20.
Yeah,
I'm like,
mine
okay,
$25.
So I go buy her book, and I just asked her, I was like, sis, I ain't never seen anybody out here,
Mhm.
selling a, literary work. How did you get, this far? How did you get out here? Her attitude was so incredibly stank.
Oh gosh, I hate that.
And she just was like, girl, I just be grinding. That's what you got to get out here and do. You just got to grind. Excuse me. And on to the next person, honey.
Mm.
And I was devastated. I was so
Mm.
pissed off. I was upset. My feelings was hurt. And it kind of messed up my mood for the rest of the night.
Yeah.
And I was super emotional. You know what I'm saying? So I took that in. But a few years later, what that taught me is that one thing, you can always learn something, even from a fool.
Mm.
And-
that's a bar.
For real. I think I'm going to start a poem like that. You can always learn something, even from a fool.
Mhm.
And you can learn how you don't want to be.
Yes.
I never wanted to be that person. I never wanted to make people feel any kind of way, but blessed when they come and ask me. If I don't know the answer, then I'm going to try and find the answer. I'm going to try and lead them in a direction to find the answer. You know what I'm saying?
I know
But,
what you mean.
you know, that's what, it took me a minute, because like I said, I took that with me. I wore it.
Oh,
It was
man.
luggage. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
right,
saying?
right,
I carried
right,
it into
right.
every room like my purse. But eventually, I learned, like, you know what, that was a moment. It was a moment to learn. I don't have to make people feel that way. So rather than gatekeeping on being like, girl, don't tell nobody your idea for your book, how about I just tell you how to protect it?
Right, exactly.
I don't have to just send you and say, you know, it's only $55 for a copyright. We pay that for eggs these days. Okay?
Right.
So,
Listen, go to
what-
your favorite
what is-
restaurant a couple times.
Okay, girl, you'll kill a quick 50 and you ain't had nothing but burger, fries, and a drink.
Okay.
Okay. So, how, you know, if you're not willing to invest in yourself, then you can't very well expect anybody else to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for
But
sure.
those are the things that, you know, being out here has taught me. And for anyone who's felt that way, there are people like Galaxy, you know, to remind us that you don't have to be that way. And even if you happen to run into somebody with that hater mentality, you know, you could get more, but you could attract more people with sweetness,
yep.
with honey. You know what I'm saying? More bees with honey,
Then,
you know, than the bitterness. So when you run across somebody that's shooting sour juice, you know, hit them with something. Hit them with something sweet. You know, and they might not even get it until you're long gone. But trust, the benefit will still come back to you tenfold. You know what I mean? So what you got going on now? What's coming up?
okay.
It's about to be some busy months, I know. You know, Black History Month coming,
Right,
Women's
that's
Month is
so
coming,
true.
and then so is National Poetry Month. So
Yes.
take me into the next 3 months with Galaxy. What's on the tablet? What's on the page?
Okay, so first things first, next weekend is about to be crazy. I got 3 shows next weekend.
What's up?
So, one show, shout out to Ben Wheel.
Mhm.
Ben Wheel, it's not even, y'all gonna get this, y'all getting this information before anybody, okay?
Right.
So, next weekend, on the 17th and the 18th, we're having a 2-day weekend. It's a show called 4 Hour Women.
Okay.
And it's going to be 4 women artists, and we are going to be talking about just women in general, what our plans are for this year, because you know a lot of Black women, we taking this year off, okay?
Yeah. Mhm.
And it's just a celebration about us. It's no men gonna be involved in hosting or any part of the curation. It's all women.
Oh, cool.
So it's gonna be really nice. I'm debuting some new poems, so
Okay.
it's gonna be at the Detroit Public Theater.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's gonna be a 2-day weekend.
Mhm.
Then immediately after,
Mhm.
I get 1 day off. And then Monday for MLK weekend, I will be at the Charles H. Wright Museum doing poetry again. So it's a show called The Soul of the Dream.
Yes, with Phoenix.
Yes. So I'm gonna be there in Phoenix. I'm gonna be there. Philip Simpson, the
Mhm.
Smile artist, he's gonna be there doing some live paintings. So
Y'all
it's
about
gonna
to
be
make
a
me be out on the
dope.
street all next
Yes,
weekend.
and it's free.
Oh,
It's free.
right.
So the 4 Hour Women is not free, but
Mhm.
that one is going to be really. The first day is a dinner.
Okay.
Okay, so it's not just a performance; it's a performance experience where we have a chef that is curating a meal based on the poems that we're gonna be debuting the next day. So
Ooh.
we
So I
created.
just got paid. I can go ahead. and
Yeah,
buy
come
my
on,
ticket.
right? Come on,
Look,
go ahead.
that
But
sounds fun.
it's gonna be a 2. Like if you want to get a 2 day, it's gonna be discounts for the double pack.
Okay.
And if you want to do 1 day and 1 day, you can do that too. So if you ain't free,
Mhm.
we can do that. Yeah, and then looking forward, so this year is a little bit weird because I'm doing things a little bit differently than normal. So last year I was on a slam team. We went to Southern Fried.
Right.
This year I am going to be working with I don't want to say it's too much, but
Yeah.
I'm going to be working with a poetry coach, and we are going to be doing an invitational slam
Okay.
to create another team.
Mhm.
But we're not competing any this year. We're doing all work.
Okay.
So what we decided is I'm going to be taking a year off of team slamming,
Mhm.
and I'm going to be working with a team. We're going to have a slam. So the top 5 get to make it to the team. And this whole year, 2025, we're gonna be writing, editing, workshopping, and then 2026 we gonna start doing team competitions and team performances.
That's like poetry boot camp.
Yeah, exactly. So, and it's a couple other Detroit teams that's out there,
Mm-hmm.
you know, working, and just we want to do it the right way. You know, like I really want to put in that work, because when you see the quality of poetry outside of Detroit, especially with the team aspect, it just makes you want to be better.
Yeah.
And so I think taking this time off instead of just going back into it, or just like rushing and joining the team or whatever, I just think it's more quality. So that's gonna be something I'm really, really focused on this year, is doing a lot of workshopping and just making my pen sharper. Like, for real, I wanna really impress people the next few times they see me on stage.
That's if they not already, right?
But you know, like my last slam I had a head-to-head battle and I lost by 0.1. And it was like, I want to make sure that I'm out there impressing people and winning by enough margin where it's like, okay, she really did that.
Exactly.
So
I'm still trying to get to the win part. So let me get to the win part. But I see where you're coming from. And it's cool that there's always a level. You know what I'm saying? And with every level comes a different devil. So with that, you know, and I see the crazy part, this is the first person that came over here and I haven't asked, what's your poetry story? Because that's all we've been talking about. You know what I'm saying? It's her poetry story. But I also ask people, what are, you know, because I think that this show not only should benefit poets, but I think it should also benefit people who, you know, host poetry events. You know what I mean?
Yeah, curators.
Curators, because, you know, this is a wide open field now. I remember where you were hard pressed to find 1 or 2 viable, dependable poetry venues. Now there are several.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But with that, I think that, you know, the best intel for a curator is to hear it from a poet's mouth. What would you like to see, or what are some of the things that you have seen, good and bad? What are some of the things that you've seen that you like, okay, y'all need to quit doing that? Okay, and then what are some of the things that you've seen where I would love to see more of this, or even if you haven't seen it yet, give somebody an idea, you know what I mean?
So let me tell you this, my biggest pet peeve.
See, that's what I'm saying. And whenever I ask this question, the poets be like, don't nobody ever ask me this, you know.
Yes. My biggest pet peeve is when a curator books a poet to a ticketed event and does not pay them. Go straight to jail. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Actually, give me the $200. Okay? I hate that, because it's like you won't have a show if it's not for me.
That person, absolutely.
And it doesn't matter if you don't have the budget to pay them the full amount, but asking them to present their artistry for free needs to stop.
Right.
Because as a host, as a curator, you need to respect your talent. If you was calling Drake to come and do a show,
you would not
you're not asking him to do it for free. Not saying I'm Drake.
Right.
This poem is called Coffee and Kennedy. So I bought myself a Keurig. You know, that fancy little coffee machine. I bought it to streamline my day because I needed a little bit more energy. And my daughter, she was more excited than me, asking me to show her how it works and how I like my coffee. She said it was just for emergencies, but soon it became a part of our daily routine. Every day became the best part of waking up, and soon coffee became synonymous with my happiness. But the problem with caffeine is there's always a crash, and I don't seem to remember when it stopped being enough or I stopped being enough. I just remember sitting down one day and not wanting to get up, becoming a cracked vessel, cup no longer running over. Forget that Folger feeling. I was just feeling empty. But that's how it works, right? Sadness, the opposite of happiness. turning all of your happy moments and turning them into fuzzy memory foam, because I can't seem to remember how I went from a coffee addict to a couch potato, and I don't know what to call it, because if sadness snatches me away from my family and there isn't a doctor to diagnose it, can I even call it depression? So when my daughter asks me what's wrong, I just say I'm tired, because I am. Because this week I don't have enough for the bills, and this week I'm losing weight again, and these weeks keep coming, and my daughter keeps asking, and I can't be honest with her, because how do that sound? A boy broke my heart, and that's the reason why I'm stuck on this love seat. I just wish I had enough energy to do anything, but life has just been beating me down so bad, and I just needed something to cushion the blow. And then one day, she sees me brewing in all my sadness, body fermenting, and she brings me a coffee, say that maybe if you're tired, this will work. Maybe this will be the remedy to bring my mommy back to me, and now I just feel guilty. Oh, God.
You cry every time you do this poem, don't you?
No.
It's beautiful.
Now, I just feel guilty because my daughter has to become a doctor, a fixer, when I'm acting like a fixture, and now I just feel like a failure because I just keep failing her. But then when she brings me that cup that says Mommy Fuel, this time I don't have the heart to tell her that the problem is cream. Just grind myself into something that can resemble her mommy. Tell myself that nothing beats a failure but a try. And isn't that the least I could do? To try, to take the cup, to get off the couch, and tell my baby girl, thank you for the coffee. Thank you.
Oh. Now I gotta give you a hug. Big ol' hug. Big ol' hug. Oh. Oh. I feel that. I felt it then too, but I feel it a lot now. Especially when you know it's so genuine, baby. It's gonna be alright. It really is. It's gonna be alright.